Ankita Robin and welcome to SG Global News. From the radical conversion of the policeman who arrested the killers of Graham Staines to the restoration of the face of an image of Jesus completely charred in a terrorist attack 5 years ago in Nicaragua, we have many stories to cover. In an exclusive conversation with Father Ajay Kumar Singh, Balram Sagar, who played a key role in capturing Dara Singh, the notorious criminal behind the brutal murder of Australian missionary Graham Staines, and his two sons, shared how a personal hardship led to a profound transformation. His journey to Christianity was not immediate, but unfolded gradually through a series of spiritual encounters and life-altering experiences. Here's a closer look at Balram Sagar's life and how faith reshaped his path.
Once hailed for his bravery in going undercover to help capture the infamous killer Dara Singh, responsible for the murder of Australian missionary Graham Staines and his two sons, Balram Sagar has since undergone a profound transformation, embracing Christianity and dedicating his life to preaching the faith. In an exclusive conversation with Father Ajay Kumar Singh, Sagar recounted a story shaped by personal tragedy, powerful spiritual experience, and a deep unwavering commitment to sharing his newfound faith. Sagar's first encounter with Christianity followed a personal hardship. After arresting Dara Singh, Sagar was transferred to another posting. During this time, his wife suffered severe burns in a kitchen accident. She was critically ill and struggling to breathe. Despite seeking medical help, her condition showed no improvement. Father Ajay recalled, quote, "Someone suggested he call a pastor to pray for her. The pastor came and prayed over her, and this continued for a while," end quote. At times, prayers from another pastor seemed to help her recover. Though she passed away shortly afterward, Sagar believed she found relief in her final days, and that experience left a lasting impact on him. Sagar thought that if ordinary followers of Jesus could heal the sick through prayer, then Jesus himself must be even more powerful. Over time, Sagar experienced personal visions of Jesus around 10 to 15 times, which deeply reinforced his faith. Father Ajay explained that Sagar's conversion wasn't sudden, but rather a gradual process shaped by a blend of spiritual encounters and real-life experiences. However, his family's reaction has been mixed. While his first wife was a Hindu, his second wife comes from a Christian background, and some of his in-laws remain opposed to this new faith. Even at professional level, he faced challenges, including attempts to implicate him in false charges and block his promotions. Despite these obstacles, Sagar remained deeply committed to sharing his testimony. Father Ajay shared, quote, "He said to me, if I don't speak about Jesus, who will? He truly believes it is his calling to be a witness so that others might come to know Christ as he did," end quote. Today, Balram Sagar represents a remarkable journey of transformation. A former police officer whose pursuit of justice not only led the arrest of one of India's most wanted criminals but also guided him to a faith he now passionately proclaims.
Pope Leo XIV received the members of the Synod of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church at the Vatican on June 2nd, offering them words of hope and solidarity amid the ongoing war in Ukraine. Addressing major archbishops Sviatoslav Shevchuk and the gathered bishops, the Holy Father praised the enduring faith of the Ukrainian people as a sign of God's strength amid destruction. He concluded by praying for peace to return soon to their homeland.
The Holy Father Leo XIV received in audience the members of the Synod of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church on Wednesday, June the 2nd, in the Consistory Hall of the Vatican Apostolic Palace. The Pope greeted Major Archbishop Sviatoslav Shevchuk, father and head of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church. The Synod of Bishops of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church is taking place in Rome from June the 30th to July the 10th. Reiterating the words of late Pope Francis, Pope Leo stated that it was not easy to talk about hope to the Ukrainian bishops and faithful in the current historical context. He said that despite the dire conditions brought about by the war, he had received many witnesses of faith and hope from the people of Ukraine. The Holy Father noted that this was a sign of God's strength, which manifests itself amid the rubble of destruction. He emphasized that the bishops were called to serve Christ in every wounded and distressed person who turned to them for help. Expressing his closeness to the bishops and the faithful, Pope Leo shared words of hope and encouragement. He concluded his address by praying that peace may soon return to their homeland.
Pope Leo XIV received Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni in a private audience on Wednesday at the Vatican. The meeting, held shortly after Meloni's return from the NATO summit, covered peace efforts, humanitarian concerns, and bilateral cooperation. According to the Holy See Press Office, the leaders reaffirmed strong relations between Italy and the Vatican while addressing global and domestic challenges.
Pope Leo XIV received Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni in a private audience on Wednesday morning at the Apostolic Palace, as reported by Vatican News. This meeting marked their first official engagement following Meloni's return from the NATO summit in The Hague, which took place on June the 24th and 25th, focusing on military spending. According to the Holy See Press Office, the Pope maintained a full schedule that day, also receiving Cardinals Luis Antonio Tagle and Paul Emile Schering, who are members of the IOR Commission for Cardinals. He met with bishops of Ukrainian Greek Catholic Synod and Emine Erdogan, the wife of the Turkish president. Following her audience with the Pope, Meloni met with the Cardinal Secretary of State Pietro Parolin and Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher. The Holy See described the conversations as cordial. Vatican officials highlighted the good existing relations between the Italy and the Pope, reaffirming mutual commitment to peace in Ukraine and the Middle East. Humanitarian aid for Gaza was also addressed during these discussions. The exchange extended to broader bilateral matters, particularly those affecting the Church and Italian civil society. This high-level diplomatic engagement underscored ongoing cooperation between the Vatican and Italy on both global and domestic fronts.
A Russian cult leader who claimed to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ has been sentenced to 12 years in a prison camp. Sergei Torok, known as Vissarion, led thousands in a remote Siberian commune. Russian courts found him guilty of harming followers mentally and financially. The case has sparked renewed international attention, with chilling details emerging from multiple reports.
Sergei Torok, a Russian cult leader known for his followers as Vissarion, was sentenced to 12 years in a high-security prison camp after being found guilty of harming the health and rights of his followers, Reuters reported on June the 30th. The 64-year-old former traffic policeman founded the Church of the Last Testament in 1991 in Krasnoyarsk region of Serbia. As reported by the Jerusalem Post on July the 1st, Torop, along with two aides, Vladimir Vedernikov and Vadmin Radkin, was found guilty and sentenced to 12 and 11 years respectively. The court in Novosibirsk ordered them to pay 40 million rubles, approximately $511,500, as compensation for moral damage. The Russian investigative committee alleged that Torop exercised psychological pressure to extort money, causing mental and physical harm to at least 23 people. RIA Novosti noted that his followers included doctors, army colonels, and international pilgrims. As shown in a 2017 BBC documentary, the female children of the sect were being groomed as future brides for worthy men. According to the Portuguese online newsletter Observador, Torop had denied wrongdoing, insisting he was the living Word of God and not a deity himself. His arrest in 2020 was carried out by helicopter with the involvement of Russia's FSB. The court concluded that the group violated civil rights under the guise of spirituality and manipulated vulnerable people during post-Soviet instability.
A group of young Filipino Catholics launched the Humilitas March, Eucharistic processions and public acts of reparation to the Sacred Heart of Jesus held in key cities across the Philippines. The movement was founded by Raven Castaneda, a college student at the Jesuit-run Ateneo de Manila University, after he witnessed a pride march on his Catholic campus in 2023. The Humilitas marches serve as a powerful and spiritual response to secular Pride Month celebrations, offering an alternative rooted in faith and reverence.
When LGBT people around the world held pride marches in June, celebrating sin and displaying rebellion and pride, a group of young Filipino Catholics made Humilitas March, Eucharistic procession, and public acts of reparation to the Sacred Heart of Jesus in key cities throughout the Philippines. Raven Castaneda, a college student at the Jesuit-run Ateneo de Manila University, founded the movement after witnessing a pride march on his Catholic campus in 2023. He was deeply troubled to see the event that promoted vice and gender ideology happening in a campus dedicated to Our Lady. Castaneda was then inspired to foster devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and remind people that only God's love can truly satisfy them. In the following June, Castaneda and his friends joined together to make prayers of adoration, consecration, and reparation. Thanks to social media, news about the first Humilitas gathering spread like wildfire, inspiring Catholic youth in various cities of the Philippines to either join or organize similar marches this year. In Davao City and Metro Manila, over 150 young people attended the 2025 Humilitas March, silently witnessing to the humility and love of the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
A powerful symbol of faith in Nicaragua has been restored after nearly 4 years. On June 29th, Cardinal Leopoldo Jose Brenes reattached the charred face of the historic Blood of Christ statue, which was severely damaged in a 2020 firebomb attack in Managua Cathedral. The statue's restoration stands as a defiant gesture of resilience for the persecuted Catholic Church in Nicaragua.
Archbishop of Managua, Cardinal Leopoldo Jose Brenes, restored the charred face of the statue of the Blood of Christ in Managua Cathedral during a solemn ceremony on Sunday, June 29th. The statue, located in the cathedral's Chapel of the Precious Blood, was severely damaged on July 31, 2020, when an arsonist threw a Molotov cocktail at it. At the time, Nicaragua's co-president Rosario Murillo dismissed the incident, claiming the damage resulted from an accident involving burning candles, a claim categorically rejected by the Archdiocese of Managua. Marta Patricia Molina, a Nicaraguan attorney who has extensively documented religious persecution in the country, asserted that the Sandinista dictatorship ordered the attack. The statue, nearly 387 years old, was left completely charred in what the Archdiocese described as a terrorist act. As Cardinal Brenes placed the burnt face of Jesus back onto the crucifix, he reminded the faithful that the attack was an attempt to intimidate the Church and hinder its mission of evangelization. But as the Apostle St. Paul says, "Who can separate us from the love of God?" he added. As the blood of Christ once again takes its place in the cathedral, so too does the resilient face of thousands of Nicaraguan Catholics who, despite harsh persecution and systemic repression, continue to uphold the beliefs passed on through generations, strengthened even in the face of violence.
That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.